Welcome to My State of Mind. We've got a real good one. I love the young people on the show, as you know. This is one of those programs that is sans the rundown, meaning I don't got much to say tonight because we've recorded this in the recent past and either have a holiday or a vacation day or my tummy hurts, you know, that kind of thing. And it gives us an opportunity to, rather than have 10 or 12 minutes of commentary on the broadcast, to broaden out the conversation. As I've told you many, many times, if you've got an idea for Dan Yorke's State of Mind, for a concept, a cause, an argument, whatever it happens to be, you let us know via your state of mind, and we have those numbers and emails and tweet and Facebook post information for you at the end of the broadcast. Tonight is a really interesting conversation. Now, I will tell you, when we began this show, the production of this program tonight is secondary to a show I've already taped on the day that we taped it. And so I'm still trying to catch up to what is a fascinating conversation with young people from Wheeler and LaSalle, the two finalists in a multi-team 30-school competition mock trial that took place a while back. And so we've got two students from each of those institutions, and at the end of the broadcast, we're going to kind of role play some of the mock trial. Unfortunately, I don't have the details on the trial, so I'm going to be flying by the seat of my pants, either watching or participating or flopping, I'm not sure which. But here's the headline that got our interest, and of course, anytime we see something in the news like this, and there's our LaSalle student, Charlotte Gemma, who is pictured, and you're going to meet her here soon. Judge Pacasini, by the way, and Peter Kilmartin. By the way, it's always nice to see Peter Kilmartin, because frankly, he's on a milk carton, as far as I'm concerned, as the Attorney General. But I'm not going to get these kids involved in the political conversation. I don't want to poison their well. Let them figure that out themselves. The Wheeler students are here. Megan, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you. Jonah, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you. By the way, the LaSalle kids are dressed better because the Wheeler kids thought it might be a radio show. I'm pretty chill on all of that, so it doesn't matter. That's not why the LaSalle kids won. And the LaSalle kids won the competition, right?
Yes, they did.
Narrowly, I'm guessing.
I think
I don't know the exact rundown actually, but
you don't get the points. There's no scoreboard.
I mean, no, it's not like that.
Before we get into the actual contents of the trial and what you're thinking about, tell us about yourself. You're a senior.
Yes, I am.
You're headed to Tufts.
Yes, Tufts University.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What are you going to major in?
I don't know yet, but I'm really interested in education. I also like theater, and then on the other side, I like biology a lot, so maybe even pre-med. I'm all over the place.
Well, you can do a play about
being a doctor.
cells or whatever. And Jonah, you're going to Vassar.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you studying?
I'm not sure. I'm interested in their theater program, and they also have a great visual art, but I'm also interested in economics now, so I guess I'm not really sure either.
How's the Wheel experience been?
It's been great, actually. It's been, it's been
Tell me
good
about
4 years. Well, it's an awesome place for me. The visual arts program there was kind of what drew me there. A great 3-year studio art program's kind of been the highlight. Theater's been fun there, and I like pretty much 99% of all the teachers I've had there have been awesome, so it's been good.
And your experience at Wheeler?
I went mostly for the performing arts side of things. I really like the program. They have a 3-year program where you're in the play, and that's a ton of fun. My older sister had also went there for high school, so I followed in her footsteps a little bit as well.
Is it a cool place to go?
Definitely. Definitely.
It's it's not cheap, right? So
No,
your parents
it's not.
sacrificed.
Yeah.
When someone says I'm from Wheeler, people Wheeler.
A little bit, yeah.
But you don't feel that way about the day in, day out operations there, do you?
What do you mean?
Like, a little uppity type of place. Opportunity, but
I think considering how expensive it is, it's not. But I think people do have that sense about it sometimes. But,
yeah. What are you gonna do? I go to Wheeler. You don't like it? Lump it. I
guess.
I'm sure most people like it who go there. Your mock trial exercise has been really fascinating for you, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the premise of the mock trial competition and your role in it and all that kind of thing.
Of course. So I started on the mock trial team my freshman year being a witness, and I've been a witness for 4 years now. What happens at the beginning of the season is you get a case book, and that outlines an entire case. So this year it's about a police officer who shot a student in the leg and claims it was self-defense. Prosecution is trying to say that was assault. And then within that case book, there are witness profiles, 3 witnesses for each side, prosecution and defense, and that sort of gives you a background on your character.
Okay. And your role in this whole thing was what?
Well, when we were playing defense, because we switched sides. When I was playing defense, I was the principal of the school where the incident happened, and then when we were prosecution, I was actually the kid that got shot.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to pause here. I want you to meet the two participants from LaSalle. And then, if it's all right with you guys, we'll do a little more trial at the end of the broadcast. Does that make any sense? In our third segment.
Yeah.
And you'll be kind of like shouting directions. And it's only a 3-person set, but I have a feeling this thing could unravel at any moment. I'm excited. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And again, some of the media coverage that kind of drew our attention. And, you know, Jess, my esteemed producer, put this program together. And I said, how many kids? Well, at least 4. I said, great, you know, because I love having the students here. As you know, we do a lot of broadcasts with the students and tell their success stories from all walks of life, academia, philanthropy, sports. This is a little bit different. We're going to have a little mock trial exercise in our next segment. And these are our participants from LaSalle who won the mock trial competition. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Pretty good. And you two are juniors,
Yes.
correct?
Yes, we are.
We beat a couple of seniors. Really. But, you know, hey, listen, I'm sure, that, you know, I would like to see the judging process. It's probably really pretty fascinating. Charlotte is with us, Charlotte Gemma, and
Yes.
Juliana Marandola is here, both juniors, and you want to go to either BC or Georgetown.
Yes.
And you're not sure yet.
No,
Don't
I'm
put
not
any
sure.
pressure on yourself. No, seriously, you know, the junior year is the toughest year in high school, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter's a freshman in college, and I'll tell you, the whole junior year was nothing but, this is the year, this is the year. If you don't get it done this year, the transcript, right?
Yeah, very
Isn't
true.
it nuts?
Very true.
It's nuts. Everybody knows LaSalle, like everybody knows Wheeler. You enjoying your experience at LaSalle?
Absolutely. I love LaSalle.
What else
Yeah.
do you do?
I'm also involved in student council, and I swim year-round too.
Good
So-
for you. You're on the swim team?
Yes.
Well, you probably swam against my kid. You're only 2 years separated. LaSalle's got a pretty good team. Mostly, did you win the state championship 2 years ago? 2 years ago, or last year?
2 years ago, yeah.
When you
And
swim, what's your event?
I swim the 100-yard freestyle and the 50-yard freestyle. So.
What's your best time?
Really? Oh, my best time in my 100 is a 101, and my best time in a 50 is a 27.
Very nice. Very competitive. You know, that minute mark is the big thing.
It
You
is.
got to bust through.
Yeah,
Keep
you
working.
do.
And Juliana, what's your story? What else do you do?
I'm also involved in student council. I'm on the newspaper, and I play the trombone and the piano for a lot of bands for the school.
Active.
Yes.
Try to be.
Very much.
What's high school life like these days? I mean, when you're this busy and this engaged, is it too much?
It's definitely a little bit stressful. But I think LaSalle is a very welcoming community. It's a very warm community, and they're really supportive, so they really help you balance your time. And of course, things are challenging. You have a lot of mock trial, for example. It's a large time commitment, and you're also trying to do your work and get your grades. But I think it helps you learn how to create a nice balance between what you want to do, what you have to do, and what your responsibilities are. So in that way, I think it's a good learning experience, especially for college in terms of like time management, things like that.
What's fascinating is when we tend to bring the best of, you know, the young people in various walks, right, in this show. I'm always impressed by the maturity. When you're this busy and you grow up fast. Too
Yeah.
fast? You feel like sometimes you're doing too much?
I mean, it's stressful and it's hard, but I think that in the end, it pushes you to be the best version of you, you know, that you can be academically and with your work ethic, and it prepares you for the real world, you know. So.
You big on the social media?
To an extent. I mean, I have it because
Drives me
yeah.
crazy. You guys, are you like this all the time?
I hope
Yes.
not.
Yes, yes, you are.
I don't
yes,
think
you
I
are.
have a lot of time for
Are you
that.
Wheeler guys like this all the time? Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? It seems to me that if you are actually more theatrical or more inclined to perform or have a little bit of, can you see how personally engaged my previous guests are and these guests are? That is a skill and a trait that is being lost in this generation. That I know.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Yes,
Absolutely.
I
Be able to
agree.
look somebody in the eye like you're looking me in the eye and speak to them directly, like you can do, like my other two guests can do. this is a skill, and I'm sure this mock trial experience helps you with that, growing out of yourself a little
Absolutely.
bit, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're heads and tails above everybody. Simply to be able to say, hello, Mr. Yorke, how are you? Look me in the eye and say, nice to meet you. All of a sudden I go, I got to hire that person. Simply because most kids right now are telling, how you doing? Tell me about your experience with the mock trial.
In mock trial, I am a lawyer. This is my second year on the team. This year I also had a brief foray as a witness in one trial, but usually I'm a lawyer. And this year was another criminal case for us. We tended to be on the prosecution side. They choose which team goes on which side based on a coin toss. So it's really a matter of chance. But we tended to be on the prosecution, I think, quite a lot this year. And what we do is, as the Wheeler said, we go through the witness statements. We formulate a theory for each side. And then each lawyer, there are 3 lawyers, are asked to come up with the line of direct questioning, cross-questioning, and 2 lawyers. One is assigned to give an opening, and the other is to give a closing. Then we try to create a cohesive trial presentation when we go in.
Is that your take too? What's your thought on the whole experience and what it taught you and what you got from it?
Well, experience-wise, it takes a lot of dedication and it takes a lot of time. But I feel like just being able to go in front of a real judge and real lawyer coaches.
Pretty heady, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's stressful, but just being able to get that experience, I mean, I just think it's awesome.
Real life Attorney General, real life Supreme Court justices, real life Superior Court justices. I mean, if you're going to play the game, there's not a lot of chances that young people have to actually play the
It's
game
true.
Exactly.
in a
True.
professional environment with
Yes.
the best of what the local has to offer, right?
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
well, good for you on that. You want to have a little mock trial exercise when we come back?
Sure.
All right, it's Wheeler versus LaSalle replayed. It'll be a piece, and I'm going to kind of trail along. I have no idea what's going to happen next, which is fine. Stay with us. Now, look, honestly, our set's not built for a mock trial, and I don't have the Supreme Court or the Attorney General or the Superior Court judge here to score. But I am fascinated about what this whole mock trial thing sounds like, at least a little bit. And I'm sure that you were probably practicing a lot in the kitchen anyway,
Yes,
right? So you don't
yes.
need a trial.
Yeah.
All right. So Wheeler to my left, your right, Jonah Parker and Juliana Marandola from LaSalle. You were the prosecutor in this case.
Yes, I was.
And again, the premise was.
So basically, and I was playing the principal of a school in
Right.
a sort of a low-income neighborhood in Rhode Island with a lot of new gang activity.
Okay.
And I hire a
Officer shoots kid.
Yeah, basically just
And
security
it's a,
guard.
and it's
Yeah,
a disagreement as to whether it's a legitimate shoot.
Yes.
pretty
right?
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to sit and watch a little piece of this back and forth. I may ask some questions, and in our next segment, we're going to bring our other 2 guests back for a little mini version of that, and then we'll wrap up. And that's how we're doing it.
All
All right, so shoot. Let's see what the hell the trial went.
Okay.
Go,
All
man.
right. All right. So good afternoon, Mr. Mathis.
Good afternoon.
Obviously, Sidney Taylor is the security officer at your school. Am I correct?
You're correct.
And in your school, he usually wears, or in fact always wears, his police officer uniform, correct?
Correct.
So this would entail perhaps the blue pants and shirt, radio, maybe a badge, right?
Correct.
Now, on the night of the shooting, September 17th, 2012, you didn't actually witness the shooting, did you?
No.
Nor did you see most of what led up to it, am I correct?
Nope.
And the reason you didn't see it is because you had been sent to the opposite side of the stadium by Sidney Taylor to call for backup,
That's
right?
correct.
He failed to use his radio to call for backup, am I correct?
Oh, well, I wasn't there, so I didn't really know, but
To the best of your knowledge, you did not use it.
I didn't see him use it. No.
Okay. When you eventually returned to the scene of the shooting, right? And you didn't see a gun that was not immediately evident to you when you arrived, am I correct?
Correct.
You did see Sidney Taylor standing with a wounded Alex Day, who was lying on the ground, am I correct?
That's correct.
You also noticed another individual running from the scene.
Yes, that's correct.
You gave chase.
I did.
You didn't catch him though, did you?
No, I did not.
And the reason you chased him is because you believed he may have had the gun on him, isn't that right?
It was. I thought it was a possibility,
Thought-
but I also just thought it was suspicious that he was running from the scene.
You
so I
didn't
thought
have
I'd
any weapons or guns on you, did you?
No.
And were any shots fired at you by the individual?
No.
Was there a gun on his person, to the best of your knowledge?
I have no way of knowing that.
Did you see a gun on him?
No.
No, you did not. So I'd like to turn your attention to Alex Day, who was shot in this case, as you know. Obviously, he's a student at your school.
Yeah.
And you have reported, as well as your staff, that he has bad grades and a fairly bad attitude.
Objection. Objection. That's hearsay. It may be true. Your Honor, it may be true, but my client doesn't necessarily have to vouch for that.
I will rephrase the question so that
Thank you.
your client may respond only to his observations.
Thank you.
You have observed a bad attitude and bad grades, am I correct?
Many people at the school have observed
They
that.
have,
Yes.
okay. But these aren't definitive signs of gang activity, are they?
No, however, it's our policy at the school, given the dangers that come with being in a high gang activity neighborhood, we do keep track of students that are exhibiting bad behavior, seem to have trouble with authority, and also break rules like our ban on clothing related to the New York Giants, which is a known gang symbol. So just students that seem to be problematic.
Oh, objection.
Yeah.
I have a problem with my own client. The Giants are a gang symbol?
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know.
Where did your clients come up with that
Very
one?
nice.
We're off the
Yeah.
trial for a second. You know, there's some things I won't stand for on this show, and that's one
Yeah.
of them. Who wrote that into the script?
I have no idea.
It's way
Yeah,
received,
I guess it was because it was like a
unfortunately.
New York-based gang that
Yeah.
didn't like. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, continue. I gotta sit through this. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Now, you also know that Alex Day comes from a relatively poor neighborhood, right?
Yes.
And he comes from a single mother household, to be specific.
Yep.
And it is your personal belief that students who come from single mother households turn into criminals left and right. Isn't that right, Principal Mathis?
Well, I believe that they're at a higher risk. I think lacking structure as a youth can end. By the way, this is not what I actually believe, but I think lacking.
Did you just come off character right there?
I did, yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
right. All right.
I think that lacking structure as a youth, and I think it can be harder for one parent to provide structure. Lacking structure as a youth can make it easier for someone to fall into maybe less savory crowds that might be involved in
All right.
drugs and
Very
yeah,
good.
that
Time.
kind
So,
of thing.
so you get a little flavor. We're gonna do a little bit more on the backside. That's fascinating. Is that a memorized script, or is that just, it's just you just what? Because you are really good. And you're great too. But I mean that
Thank you.
that
Thank you.
that pursuit was impressive.
What it has been for us is we tend to come up not with a set list of questions, because sometimes you have to change your order or change what you want to say depending on what your witness says. So for us, we come up with a list of points that we want to make and a specific order that we'd like to make it in. Sometimes you have to change it. But to be truthful, that's probably like the 7th version of the cross that I produced this year. It takes a lot of
I
going
actually,
back.
I jumped in as an objection for you, but actually you're the principal.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
would know
yeah.
the grades.
It's
So
true,
that
it's
was
true,
my
yeah.
bad. I was just trying to
You
get
know.
involved. That's all. All right, great work on you. They're really good. All right,
Thank you.
and with the other two students, come in and do a little bit of that too, because it's all fair and love and mock trial. Stay with us. Back again, this is what caught our attention. We said, hey, we should bring these young people in here and experience this mock trial stuff. We love having, the youth of our community in on this broadcast, and so far I am dazzled not only by the skills in this mock trial thing, but just their overall presence and all that, right? So if you've missed any part of the show, it's online at WPRI.com. Click on Dan Yorke State of Mind. So I just wanted to make all fair in love and war and the crime that are committed here. Megan is back. She's going to Tufts, and Charlotte is back. She doesn't know. She's a junior yet. She's at LaSalle. They won the competition. Megan's at Tufts. She's a senior. They were second in the competition out of 30 statewide in the mock trial that they did a little while back. So now you're playing the role of the defendant.
Yes,
Okay.
Sydney Taylor.
And you're the prosecutor.
Yes, I am.
You got 2.5 minutes. Go get her.
All right, so
Him.
you had some trouble on the police force, correct?
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Well, there was some suspicion about you taking drugs from a crime scene, correct?
Yes, but those were mostly believed by most people to be completely false. In that situation, really, it was more about it was because I had found that a city official had these drugs, and a lot of
Okay.
people in the police force were close friends with
All
him.
right, thank
I'm
you.
stepping
So-
in for a second, just so you know, if you just tuned in, Megan is playing the role of the policeman who is actually accused perhaps of a false use of force on a young person who was shot. Okay, anyway, go ahead, prosecutor, go back.
Okay, and your hours were cut back significantly because of this, right?
Yes.
And then you were hired as a security officer at the high school, right?
Yes, at George Washington High School.
Okay. So on the night of the game, when Alex Day and his friends pulled up, it was your job to make sure that no drugs and no alcohol were to be inside of that game, correct?
Yes, it's very important.
And you were certain that you smelled the strong odor of marijuana coming from his car, correct?
Yes, but at the time I was not 100% sure that there was marijuana inside the car. I didn't see anything, and I only smelled it. And as a cop, it's very important to me that I am 100% sure about anything before I attempt making any arrest or.
So that's why you did not search the car,
Yes,
correct?
exactly. I need
Okay.
to be 100% sure before I do anything.
Right. So Alex Day and his friends, they were very rude to you, correct?
Yes.
and they got you so riled up that you had to step back and take some deep breaths, correct?
You know, it's always important to keep a clear heads, but they were just being kids. This is so common of high schoolers.
This
to
is
say,
common?
Well, to say, you know, a couple of things at authority figures, but I really don't let it get to me. I just take a couple of breaths.
Okay. After the game, when you saw Alex stay and his friends underneath the stadium, you were 60 feet away from them, correct?
Yes, I was initially before I approached.
Right. And you saw something being passed around, correct?
Yes, it
And-
became clear to me that a drug deal was going on.
Yet initially, you weren't sure whether this object was a gun or a bag of drugs, correct?
Yes, and that's actually not why I approached, because I wasn't 100% sure.
Right,
I
you were
got
not
closer,
100%
but I was 100% sure that they were breaking and entering.
All right, we got to wrap this. Isn't this great? All right, we're going to do 10 more shows and to get this whole trial back. And it's just, I've been in a lot of trials. I've never seen a police officer so aggressive about the defense of his or her actions.
Yeah, that's what's sort of different about playing, because I play detective on the other side, and every single time it's just it's very short. But when you're the defendant, you really have to do these longer responses because you need to make sure that your side's argument holds.
I liked your approach. It was quiet. It was efficient. It was disciplined.
Thank you.
Excellent. Congratulations, you guys are really terrific. Wheeler was second, LaSalle was first, but they're all winners in my book. And Juliana, Jonah, outstanding. I got to wrap this baby up. Listen, if you think that you've got an idea for the broadcast, we simply want to hear from you. It's your state of mind. Dial us at 228-1886. Of course, that's where you can leave a voicemail to be heard on the air as well. stateofmind@myritv.com is the email. Of course, you can tweet and Facebook post and let us know what you're thinking about the contemporary issues of the day. But again, anytime you think on a broadened basis, when we have one of these programs where we can kind of shake loose a little bit, send us a program idea. We love it. Congratulations to our students, and we'll bid you adieu. I remind you that you can hear me every weekday, noon to 3 on WPRO radio, and right here, weeknights, 7:30 and 11:30 on My State of Mind. Thanks for watching.